Can you see?
No, sir. I cannot see the screen.
Okay.
Ah, yes, now. Yeah.
Okay. Who would like to start? Jayashree, maybe you like to do this.
Okay, sir. Om Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gnananjana-salakaya Chaksur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaye Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. Our respectful obeisances are unto you, O spiritual master, servant of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami. You are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Deva and delivering the Western countries which are filled with impersonalism and voidism. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadara, Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. I offer my obeisances to Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadara, Shri Vasa, and all others in the line of devotion. Maha Mantra. Maha means great and mantra means sacred chant for deliverance. Of all mantras in Vedas, one is called as Maha Mantra or Great Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The words Hare pronounced Hare, Krishna pronounced Krishna, and Rama rhymes with Rama are Sanskrit words. Hare is an address to Lord's energy known as Radha, and Krishna is name of God, meaning he who is attractive to everyone. Rama means one who gives pleasures and enjoys life. When chanted, the Maha Mantra is a petition to God, O Krishna, O energy of Krishna, please engage me in your service. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Hare Krishna. We are now in the level 2, chapter 18, part 1. Because this last chapter is a very long chapter, so we break it up into two. We have part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is from verse number 1.
Hare Krishna.
Verse number 1 to 39. So part 2 will be from 40 until the end. So I congratulate all of you on reaching the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita level 2. It is actually a very beautiful experience.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you hear? I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Can the others hear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Can. So you maybe you log out and log in again. Try. Others can hear. Everyone can hear properly, right? Except
Yes, sir.
yeah. Can. Anna? Anna, can you hear?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, sorry. I had some problem with my laptop. Finally, I could hear you.
Ah, okay. So we can proceed, huh? All right.
Yeah.
So this is actually Bhagavad Gita is a very beautiful experience. And just to let you know, Gujarat state is going to introduce Bhagavad Gita in the school from chapter from school year 6 to 12. That means the first 5 years in school, no Bhagavad Gita, because it's not so easy to understand when you are very young. So from 6 to 12, they will teach the Bhagavad Gita. So that is a very good thing, because actually this Bhagavad Gita is the most important book in the whole world. So we should be very, very happy that we have come to this level where we are now in level 2. And it's not easy. You see, level 1, we had so many people. Level 2, we have so less. Why? Because somehow or another, the taste and the understanding may not be complete for them. So anyway, never mind. One day I hope that they will come back and they will really understand and follow the Bhagavad Gita. So this Bhagavad Gita is all the philosophy of how to live in your daily life, and also the philosophy of how to live in such a way that at the end of your life, you do not come back to the material world, you go back to the spiritual world. So, of course, there are many things in Bhagavad Gita that tells you what to do, what not to do. So you have to actually take up the instruction. You cannot just understand but not follow. Okay? But at least you understand it. One half is done. But if you follow, the balance half will done, and you do not come back to the spiritual material world. But if you only understand and not follow, you will have to come back to this material world, and hopefully your next life you can go back. Okay. So we take the respects of. Can you tell me this is Krishna Balaram or it is Gaur Nitai and Nityananda?
It's Gaur Nitai and Nityananda.
Okay, why you say that?
Because they have put their hands on top.
Yeah, right answer. So we take the blessings and pay the respects to Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. We also pay the respects to Radha Krishna, and we can chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We can also chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya in front of Gaur Nitai, but I know that Radha Krishna is coming, so I just wait until this. Okay, so we have done this. So we also take the blessings of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. One thing I must say, because of Prabhupada, the Bhagavad Gita is becoming very, very famous. Everyone is taking up at least learning about Bhagavad Gita. Okay? Okay, who would like to volunteer to read this?
I volunteer, Prabhuji.
Okay, please. Are you reading? Because we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Now can, just now there are words.
I think I accidentally muted myself.
Okay.
Okay, understanding of Gita. The forgetful living entities or conditioned souls have forgotten their relationship with the Supreme Lord, and they are engrossed in thinking of material activities, just to transfer their thinking power to the spiritual sky. Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa has given a great number of Vedic literatures. First, he divided the Vedas into 4. Then he explained them in the Puranas. And for less capable people, he wrote the Mahabharata. In the Mahabharata, there is given the Bhagavad Gita. Then all Vedic literature is summarized in the Vedanta Sutra. And for future guidance, he gave a natural commentation on the Vedanta Sutra called Srimad Bhagavatam. We must always engage our minds in reading these Vedic literatures, just as materials engage their minds in reading newspapers, magazines, with so many materialistic literatures. We must transfer our reading to these literatures which are given to us by Vyasadeva. In that way, it will be possible for us to remember the Supreme Lord at the time of death. That is the only way suggested by the Lord, and He guarantees the result. There is no doubt. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So we are all conditioned souls, and we are very materialistic, materially engrossed. Why are we materially engrossed and not immediately spiritually thinking? Because when we were born, we had to actually, we don't know anything about spiritual life. We first we need to eat. We need to do so many things. As the children also, we are doing so many things, and we don't really understand about spiritual life. Only our parents first, the mother, then the father, then only the guru will actually teach the spiritual, but the parents are the first and second guru. And if you are qualified parents, you can teach actually the spiritual knowledge to your children. It's very important that they also become spiritually inclined. If they don't become spiritually inclined, they become materialistic people. And if they lose their material things, or they get tired of material things, they will just give up on life and die. And they achieve nothing in the world, because next life again they have to come back. So that is why Krishna Dwapa Vyasadeva, he is actually a partial incarnation of the Lord. He has given a great Vedic. First, the Vedas which are given by the Lord, he broke into four, so that actually there are four parts. In one whole Vedas is very heavy, so he broke into four. And then again he had the Puranas, which he explained the Vedas in the Puranas, because the Vedas are very technical and complicated. So for us people who are actually a little bit not so intelligent, he gave us the Puranas. Again, some people don't even understand the Puranas. So he also had the Mahabharata. In the Mahabharata, he has written the principles. A lot of principles are in the Mahabharata. But the gem of the Mahabharata is the Bhagavad Gita. That is where Krishna speaks to all of us. And then again, he had the Vedanta Sutra. And then finally, he had this summary of the Vedas in the Srimad Bhagavatam. When he wrote the Mahabharata, he went back to his Gurudev. Who is his Gurudev? Narada Muni. He said, Gurudev, I wrote this beautiful Mahabharata, and it's so beautiful, but still I am not satisfied. And Narada Muni said, Mahabharata is the history of India. You have put in the Bhagavad Gita which Krishna spoke. That is true. But that is not enough. But if you speak about the glories of the Lord, and you make a compilation of the glories of the Lord from the Vedas, and you write. And then so he did that, and he wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam. At the end of the Srimad Bhagavatam, he wrote that I am very satisfied now with this compilation of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is actually a pure literature. So I am very, very happy, and finally my soul is very peaceful. So we must always engage our minds in reading this Vedic literature, because when we read the Vedic literature, we become more and more spiritual, we become less and less materialistic, and at the time of death, what we will do, we will be thinking of Krishna and then go back to the spiritual world. In Bhagavad Gita is spoken that at the time of that you should remember. Krishna says that you remember me, I will bring you back. So how to remember him? You have to have all this understanding, chanting, and then reading. When you read, you will remember the Lord. So this is chapter 18, the conclusion. Conclusion of the Gita, the perfection of renunciation. So what is renunciation? Giving up material attachment. So chapter 18, finally Krishna is speaking. He has spoken in the first 6 chapters about the different yogas, and then 7 to 12 is spoken about bhakti. Then 13 onwards he has spoken many things, the 3 modes of nature, the 3 types of different. Here also in chapter 18, the 3 types of the ones in goodness, passion, and ignorance, the 3 different. We will come to that. But anyway, then the second part, which will be next week, Krishna finally hits the nail on it. Puts the nail in the correctly and then hits the nail on the head of the nail, and puts the nail in and tells us how to actually give up material things and attain him spiritual. Okay, we are starting with chapter 18, chapter verse 1. Who would like to read this? Volunteer?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Arjuna Uvacha Sanyasasya Mahabaho Tattvam Ichami Veditam Tyagasya Char Risikesa Pratakesi Nisudana. Arjuna said, O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, Tyaga, and of the renounced order of life, Sannyasa, O killer of the Kesi demon, master of the senses. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So Arjuna is now thinking that, I really want to become a spiritual person, and I really want to go back to the spiritual world. So he's asking to Krishna that, is it I have to take up sannyas? What is sannyas? Giving up family, giving up your work, and then just dedicating your life, traveling all over the country, and dedicating your life to the preaching the glories of the Lord. And then again, he's also asking in this, because sometimes you think, oh, that means if I want to go back to spiritual world, I must do this. I must give up everything. There are a lot. Sometimes some people come to ISKCON, then the parents and the family become worried. Why? You join ISKCON. That means you will leave us. You will leave the work. You will leave your family. You will just become a shaved monk. Is it? We don't want you to be. But now Krishna is going to tell us exactly what it is, what he means, which is all these things which are worrisome for the family members of a person who comes to ISKCON is put to rest today in this chapter. So I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation. So why do we need to renounce? So there are 2 questions: why we need to renounce, and about the renounced order of life. Okay, so he's asking. Let's see what Krishna speaks. Okay, who would like to read this? Raji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Kamyanam Karmanam Niyasam Sanyasam Kavayo Vidu Sarva Karma Palatyagam Prahustyagam Visaksana.
Good.
The The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the giving up of activities that are based on material desire is what great learned men call the renounced order of life, sannyasa, and giving up the results of all activities is what the wise call renunciation, tyaga. Thank you.
Thank you. So in just one verse, as Krishna is already explaining, let's go back to what question Arjuna is asking. He said, what is the purpose of renunciation? So Krishna says that you give up all activity, giving up the results. He's not saying give up all activities. The results, the fruit of all activities is renunciation. That means you do your duty without expecting the result. So this is the actual meaning of renunciation. So when you come to spiritual life, you go to ISKCON or any other very serious sampradayas, they will tell you you have to renounce your life. But how you renounce is actually just do your duty. Krishna is speaking very clearly. Do your duty and forget the results. That's renounce. And then now sannyas. Sannyas, when you talk about sannyas, you think about sannyasi. People who are wearing saffron, shave their head, traveling all over the world. So let's see what Krishna is speaking. He said, giving up of activities that are based on material desire is what great learned men call the renounced order of life. You may be at home, but you can be called a sannyas. Not a sannyasi. A sannyasi is a person who really goes out. But a sannyas is a person who has in his heart is all activities which are materially motivated. Something that makes you no spiritual benefit. Example, if you are doing your duty, there is a spiritual benefit. But if you are going to do something like going to the nightclub, it's totally material desire. So that is not what Krishna wants you to do. So all these things which are not beneficial for furthering your spiritual life or doing your duty, that is called material desire. So you give up all this and you will be actually under the sannyas mode of life. Okay, what does sannyas mode of life mean? Later on we'll come to that, okay? Because Krishna does speak on certain things. You remember sannyas, let's carry on. So someone can read 3, 4 and 5. 18, 3, 4 and 5. Who hasn't spoke yet? Kavita?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So 18.3, some learned men declare that all kind of fruitive activities should be given up as faulty, yet other sages maintain the acts of sacrifice, charity and penance should never be abandoned. 18.4, O best of Bharatas, now hear my judgment about renunciation. O tiger among men, renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be of 3 kinds. BGM 18.5, Yagyadana tapa karma natyajam karyam evatat yajno danam tapas chaiva pavanani manisinam. Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. All these activities should be performed as a matter of duty and without any expectation of results. PG 18.6.
So coming to this, we do that some spiritual people in 18.3 declare that you should give up all fruitive activities because to do fruitive activities will bind you materially. But some sages say that you should do sacrifice, charity, and penance. Those activities should never be given up. So then, Krishna is speaking that actually you should never give up renunciation is declared to be the of three kinds. Okay. So now Krishna says, hear my judgment about renunciation. So Krishna never speak anything yet. First he talked about the sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. That's what some people say. But what Krishna is saying is, firstly, he's going a little bit off. Then in 18.5, he says, sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even great souls. Even those spiritual people must perform sacrifice, charity, and penance. And Krishna is going to speak to you about the three kinds of sacrifice, penance, and charity. So then going back to 18.4, he's talking about renunciation. So Krishna says, my judgment about renunciation. Renunciation is declared in the scripture to be of three kinds. Then after that, he comes to 18.5. Now let's carry on. Krishna has actually spoken. First somebody says this one. Then after that, he talks about renunciation. Then he says that these three things should never be given up. Okay. Okay. So someone can read 18.6, 18.7, 18.8, and 18.9. Manju. Manju?
Namaskar. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, English only, yeah? 6,
Okay.
7, 8, 9.
6. Because 5 and 6 is together, so I'll read both 5, 6.
No, 6. 5 you already done.
Oh,
Yours is
oh.
together. My Bhagavad Gita is not together.
18.6. All these activities should be performed without attachment or any expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty, O son of Pritha. That is my final opinion. 18.7. Prescribed duties should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. 18.8. Anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear or of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation. 18.9. O Arjuna, when one performs his prescribed duty only because it ought to be done and renounces all material association and all attachment to the fruit, his renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So now
Namaskar.
we go back to 18.4. Krishna is speaking about renunciation. That is why he brought in the matter of renunciation first before he goes to sacrifice, charity, and penance, because renunciation is important in what he is going to say. So in 18.6, he says that renunciation is performing without attachment or expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty. So renunciation of action means you may do the action, but you do it without attachment to any expectation of result. Okay, then in 7, he says that your duty you should never renounce. Don't leave everything and go to the forest and say you become a Babaji. He says no. Do your duty. The world must go on. If everyone becomes a Babaji, what will happen to the world? What will happen to the world if everyone becomes Babaji? Can someone answer? I'm asking a question. Anyone got any idea what will happen to the world if everyone becomes Babaji?
Yeah, I mean, nobody goes to work and nothing happens. Yeah.
If everyone becomes Babaji, no one will get married. No one will have children. Everyone will just die and then there's no more. So in the beginning, when Krishna created the world, he told Brahma, create the world and populate it. Why? Because they are spirit souls who are not interested in living in the spiritual world. We need to put them somewhere and we need to give them bodies. So you have to populate the world. So that's how Brahma started creating the world, and he instructed his children to populate the world. That is why it is actually sanctioned that we should have people getting married and also giving birth to children, so that the living entities can get a body and they can, after some realization, because in the human body they can actually understand that actually the material world is not good, the spiritual world, we should go back to the spiritual, back to Godhead. So that is why Krishna says prescribed duty should never be renounced. Everyone become Babaji, then you have to eat the fruits in the jungle and all that, so that's you got no, then no one will be able to have scriptures, no one will print books, no one will teach books, because Babaji don't teach. What they do, they just go and meditate on the Lord and die, that's all. They don't go preaching. And who's going to teach the people about the, if there are no teachers, how the people going to be doctors and lawyers and all that, right? Example. So the same way, how can people become spiritual if there are no preachers? So that's why you do your duty. Krishna said the priest should do his duty to preach. We in Kali Yuga, Prabhupada said all of us should preach. We are the preaching movement. We should learn and we should preach. That is what Krishna wants, because later on in Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, Krishna says that I want all of you to preach. Later we'll come to it next week. So we should follow what Krishna wants, not just follow what people are talking and they are feeling and they are understanding, and they don't really practice what Krishna wants us to do. So in this way, if one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, you become illusion. Because you're not following what Krishna, such renunciation in the mode of ignorance is useless. And then 18.8, here you see, there is a 3 modes of renunciation: goodness, passion, and ignorance. In the goodness is performing prescribed duty because it ought to be done, what Krishna wants us to do. And also renouncing all material association and attachment to fruit. Don't expect the fruit and don't do material association. Meaning don't go out with drinkers and go drinking. Don't go out with womanizers and go womanizing, or manizers and go manizing. something like that. Don't do all these things. Do according to the dharma, Vedic. You get married, you have a wife, the wife and the husband should become spiritual. They should raise children and get them to be spiritual. Okay, that's the mode of good. Passion is giving up prescribed duties as troublesome. So those in the mode of passion, you don't want to do all this duty because very troublesome. You just want to enjoy. You don't want to do your duty. You want to be in the family and let everyone else work, and you just sit home and eat. Let everyone give you the food. Example, then ignorance is you are not even doing your prescribed duty. You are doing things which are not good for you. Example, you don't want to work, you want to beg. Those are people in the mode of renunciation. Don't work. I just beg now. Take the money and go and eat, buy something. So that is the renunciation, 3 types of renunciation. So Krishna is speaking in, if you give up in 18.8 as troublesome out of fear of bodily discomfort because you are lazy, it's said to be renounced in a mode of passion. Such action never lead to elevation. You will become lazy. Now I want to ask you one thing. If you want to be a fit body, you must do exercise, right? Can you not do exercise and have a healthy body? No, right?
No, no.
Must look at the amount type of food you eat as well as the exercise you have to do. So basically, people who become lazy, they will never become happy because their body, they don't want to exercise. They just eat as they like. So what will happen? They will become materially unhealthy, and then spiritually also they become unhealthy. Both ways they lose out. Then 18.9, when one performs duty by his prescribed only because it ought to be done. Ought to be done, who tells? Krishna. Renounces all material association and all attachment to food, his renunciation in the mode of goodness. So basically Krishna says, you must renounce, but don't renounce in ignorance and passion, because that is also renunciation. There are some people who become Nanga Babas. Krishna is saying, don't become one of them, because you just give up and you just walk naked and you do austerity. That is not what Krishna wants you to do actually. That is not actually spiritual life. That is a form of sense gratification because you think that you are superior to others and you think by doing this you can go back to the spiritual world, but that is not correct. Krishna already speaks in Bhagavad Gita. I'm so sorry. These people are also under illusion. That is why it's so important to read the Bhagavad Gita, because you might follow them and you might think that they are the correct way of doing things. No, Krishna is speaking very clearly, no. So now we go to 10, 11, and 12. Who would like to read? Who hasn't read yet? Yeah. So everyone has read, huh? I mean, Bhagavad Gita, who hasn't read yet? Don't talk about the first two. Jayashree, I think you haven't read.
I just read that invocation. Sir.
Yeah. So you read
Okay.
10, 11, and 12.
Okay, sir. One second. Then the intelligence renouncer situated in the mood of goodness, neither hateful of inauspicious work nor attached to the auspicious work, has no doubts about the work. 11. It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities, but he who renounces the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced. 12. Anishtam, Anishtam Ishtam Misram Cha
Teaching.
Trivadam Karmana Phalam Bhavati Atyaginam
Actually,
Pretya.
actually,
Hello.
sorry,
Yes, sir.
you. Can you sing?
Sing. Okay, sir. Anishta. Anish. Sir, can you please guide me to sing?
Yeah, I know you forgot the tune, but I just guide you one.
I
Anistam, istam,
okay.
anistam, istam, istam, cham.
Anishtam Mishtam Misram Cha
Okay? Or you can
Tri
play. Anistam, istam, misram, cham.
Anishtam Mishtam Mishram Cha
Tivi.
Trivi
Yeah, carry on.
Trividham Karmanam Phalam Bhavati Atyaginam Pretya Natu Sanyasinam Kavi. So what is that word? Kavachita. For one who is renounced, the threefold fruits of action, desirable, undesirable, and mixed, accrue after death. But those who are in renounced order of life have no such results to suffer or enjoy. Thank you.
Okay. So let's go back. 10. Krishna says, the intelligent renouncer, situated in the mode of goodness, neither hateful of inauspicious work, nor attached to inauspicious work, has no doubt about work. That means he is doing work which has to be done. Whether it's good or not, it's good for him or not good for him, he's doing because as a duty. Just like Arjuna, he is going to be a warrior. Now, to kill people is inauspicious, right? So, should not be attached to doing auspicious work and hateful to doing inauspicious work. In the material sense, killing is inauspicious, but he is a soldier. So in a way, being a soldier, maybe you may think, oh, I think being a soldier is not good because I have to kill people, right? But Krishna says, no, it is needed. There is needed, soldiers are needed, and they have to kill. It's no choice. If they don't kill, they cannot be soldiers. They cannot protect the country. They cannot protect the people from bad people, you know? So soldiers also, they need to protect from villains and bandits and all that. You need to fight. So basically, you should just do your duty. You don't worry whether it's auspicious or inauspicious. Your job is to do as per what you need to be done. Okay? So you have no doubts about whether you should do or not. You're just doing it because my duty is this, I'm doing finish. Then 11, it is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities. He who renounces the fruit of action is called one who has fully renounced. Now, if you say, okay, I don't want to do any work because I don't want to get any karma. But you have to eat right. It is work also. You have to cook food right. That is work also. So there Krishna says, impossible that you don't do. Even you may become a Babaji. You still need to go and beg for chapati and eat. That is also work. Correct. So there is no such thing as you need to walk to some place to get something. That's also work. You need to go to the toilet to pass motion. That is also work. So Krishna, there is no such thing as no work. Everybody has to work. Even you give up work, it's also we have to do work. So A person who gives up the fruit is really renounced. Krishna is explaining. And then for one who is not renounced in 12, the threefold modes of action, desirable, undesirable, and mixed, are accrued after that. That means you need to take another body, and accordingly to the desirable, undesirable, and mixed fruits. If you are doing a lot of charity and all that, you will get a next life a rich man. You may be a rich man. You are doing a lot of some charity, then you might get also some benefit. Example, and if you do bad things, you will get a lot of bad things. You give charity for the wrong purpose. You may give charity to the drug addicts, then you will get also the reaction. So there are so many types of charity examples. So basically Krishna says, I want you to do something not based on whether I will get good benefit, normal benefit, or bad benefit. I want you to do something which is renounced. I want you not to do karmic action. I want you to do akarma action. Karmic action means I do good, I get good. I do bad, I get bad. I do stupid, I get worse. But akarma action is I do as my duty according to how Krishna has laid out in the scriptures that I should be doing. Okay, so that is akarma. Akarma action means no reaction to any work, anything you do. Even you kill an ant while doing according to the duty, also you don't get the karma. Sometimes you eat prasad, you may offer to Krishna, cook, inside got maybe one ant died, and you offer to Krishna, Krishna will still accept. Because it's not, because you did for Krishna. It's a karma action, and you act, and maybe you at the end, you know, you offer to Krishna and Krishna accept it and give you prasad, and you at the end, and you don't know, you act it, but you still don't get the reaction for that because you're eating prasad, and in between there was an ant accidentally, or maybe while the prasad was being there, one ant came and went in, and you didn't realize, and you ate it. Then you become still a karma. Okay, I want to stop for a while. Any questions first? So far, are you understanding, or there's any question for what I have said so far? Because chapter 18 is a very important chapter. I mean, all chapters are important, but chapter 18 is so important. So do you understand so far?
Yes, sir, we have understood.
You have understood. Huh? Anybody who has not understood so far? I know it's a bit difficult, a bit technical, but as we go on, you will get more and more idea. But in between, maybe you have some questions. Any questions so far before we continue?
No, sir, I think we understand.
Okay, no one. So I proceed. Okay. Who would like to read this? Anna?
Yes, Prabhuji. 5 causes of action, BG 18.13 till 14. Panchaitani maha baho karanani nibodame sankhye kratante
Kirtante.
sankhye kritante proktani siddhaye sarva karmanam adhishtanam tada karta adhishtanam tada karta karanam cha pradravidam vividascha pratakshas vividas vividascha pratakchesta devam chaivatra panchamam. O mighty armed Arjuna, according to the Vedanta, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of all action. Now learn of these from me. The place of action, the body, the performer, the various senses, the many different kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the supersoul. These are the 5 factors of action. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So now Krishna is speaking. We have not really thought about it, why we are committing action, but Krishna is already one step ahead of us. He says that there are 5 causes for accomplishment of action, 5 causes for the action to perform. These 5 things are needed for an action to take place. Okay. First, you must have the body. You must have a body for an action to take place. And then you must have a person who is going to do the action, which is ourselves. And then you must have the various senses. Because of the various senses, the body, the person does something with the body. And then the many kinds of endeavor, the effort is needed. The senses are there, the performer is there, the effort is also there. And then you will have the body. And finally, the person once uses the body because out of senses and effort, because from the senses he has understood, and the endeavor he's doing with the body, he wants to do certain work. But that work cannot go through if the Supreme Lord doesn't give the sanction. You know, you may, if you want to do something and Krishna doesn't want you to do, no matter how much you do, you cannot do it. Right? So basically, this is why how the work. Finally, Krishna has to give the sanction. Okay? Okay, let's proceed. So here you can see action, the place, the body, just now what I explained, the senses, the different kinds of endeavor and the performer, and finally Krishna. One who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the 5 factors, is certainly not very intelligent. This is next verse. Okay, before we go to this verse, someone can read 15 and then 16.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Text 15. Whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind, or speech is caused by these 5 factors.
That one
Text
said
6.
already. This one 15 and 17.
Text 16. Therefore, for one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the 5 factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. Text 17. One who is not motivated by false ego, whose intelligence is not entangled, thought he kills man, though he kills man in this world, does not kill, nor is he bound by his actions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So basically, 16, Krishna says that if you really cannot understand that what this, you cannot really understand what makes an action being done. Okay. So basically, then in 17, Krishna is saying that if you are not motivated by false ego, what's the meaning of false ego? Anyone can tell me? Anyone can tell me what's the meaning of false ego?
Is it thinking that thinking that the self is the body?
Yes, very good. And what is the real ego? Anyone? There is 2 things. There's a false ego, there must be a real ego. So what is the real ego? Anyone? Try? No? Real ego is understanding that we are the servant of God and we should follow as per the instructions of the Lord, and we will become perfect by taking the instruction and follow His instruction. If you have this in your mind, in you, that means you are in the real ego. If you have that everything belongs to me, I should enjoy, I don't care if anyone, I hurt anyone or whatever, that is false ego. I am the Lord. There is no, I don't know who Lord is, I don't care also. That is false ego. When you want to only self-centeredness is false ego. Okay? So Krishna says that if you have a good intelligence which is not entangled, even you kill, you are not bound by your action. You are not actually performing sinful action. You are doing a karma action. Okay. Raji, can you read this?
Yes, Jananam Janayam Prajitnata Trividha Karma Kodana Karanam Karma Kartiti Trividha Karma Sangraha. Knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower are the three factors that motivate action. The senses, the work, and the doer are the three constituents of action.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Krishna is saying that you take the knowledge and you have the object of the knowledge and the knower. You are the person, knower. You have the knowledge and you want to do certain things. With that knowledge, you want to actually accomplish certain. Are the three factors that motivate action. And then the senses, the work, and the doer are the three constituents. You need the senses, you need to work, endeavor, and the doer. That one will get you to do an action. You must be there. You must have the senses and which are motivating you, and you must have the effort, right? Just now Krishna also speaks the same. Okay, so now somebody can read 19, 20, 21, 22. Manju. Manju?
Yes, Prabhuji.
19, 20, 21, 22.
19. 18.19. According to the three different modes of material nature, there are three kinds of knowledge: action and performer of action. Now here of them from me. 20. That knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities, though they are divided in innumerable forms, you should understand to be in the mode of goodness. 21. That knowledge by which one sees that in every different body there is a different type of living entity, you should understand to be in the mode of passion. And 22. And that knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as the all in all, without knowledge of truth, and which is very meager, is said to be in the mode of darkness.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Namaste.
Krishna. So now Krishna is speaking in 19. He says there are three types of knowledge three types of action and three types of performer of action. Now hear from me. So people in the mode of goodness, they see that in everyone's heart the super soul is staying there, right? And that everything is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. People in the mode of passion says that everyone has a soul, but everyone is different. There is no super soul in everyone's heart. That is people in the mode of passion. I do what is good for me, other people, other things, I should be the supreme. And then ignorance is a person who only thinks that doing this type of job is the best. So then these people, they have no knowledge at all about spiritual work. All they're interested is to earn money for themselves and to enjoy maximum. That is the knowledge in the mode of ignorance. They don't even understand there is God or no God. They don't care, or they don't believe. They may be atheistic. So that's the more knowledge in the mode of ignorance. At least you understand that everyone got a soul and the body dies. That's a mode of passion. But in a mode of goodness, you understand that everyone has a soul and has a super soul, and everyone is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. We are all part and parcel. We are all the servants of the Lord. That is mode of good. Okay? Understand, huh? So then we have karma. So we have 22. So 23, 24, and 25. Kalyani.
23, Prabhuji.
Yeah, 23, 24, 25. Read from the Bhagavad Gita.
Okay. Text 23. That action which is regulated and which is performed without attachment, without love or hatred, and without desire for fruitive results is said to be in the mode of goodness. Text 24. But action performed with great effort by one seeking to gratify his desires and enacted from a sense of false ego is called action in the mode of passion. Text 25. That action performed in illusion, in disregard of spiritual injunctions, and without concern for future bondage or for violence or distress caused to others is said to be in the mode of ignorance.
So now Krishna is speaking that there are three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance, even in the action. Action means you get reaction. That's karma. So they put here karma. Okay. So if you are performing your duty without you like or don't like, you're doing because you are doing. The worker ant is doing his duty. He doesn't worry whether he's going to be king or queen. He will never be. But he's just doing and bringing the food for the nest. He's doing his duty. So same way we are to do our duty we have, but a human being is a different from the ant. It's not only food. As a husband and wife and children and all our duty to actually understand the spiritual life and go back to the spiritual world. Human life is different. So you do your duty in work and you don't attachment to whether you like or not like, whether it's supposed to be do. You know, a mother and a father, they bring up their children. They don't think, oh, I get enjoyment from looking after children or all this, then I will do, otherwise I don't do. They do it. They have to do it. You already give birth. It's your duty. You do it. Whether you like or not, whatever it is, they just do it. They don't think whether it's supposed to be done or not. Whether I like it or not, it's my duty. I have to do it. And whatever the pleasure or whatever, they don't think of the result. But they get the pleasure, they get the unpleasantness, the effort, the difficulty, also they just take it in their stride. That is in the mode of goodness. Passion is you want to do anything only for your good self. Sometimes the parent will kill the child. Ah, I am fed up of this child, let me kill him and get rid of him. There are cases, crazy people. They will get in the mode of passion. Actually, that's mode of ignorance, sorry. But the passion is people, that one is in the mode of ignorance. They kill their children because they are tired of that. And they kill maybe their husband because they want to marry somebody else. Or they kill their wife because they marry somebody else. That's all in the mode of ignorance. Totally bad. Mode of passion is I want to enjoy life, so I want to work hard. I want to get a lot of money, build a lot of bungalows, and everyone will say, what a clever man I am. That is mode of passion. He has a big ego. He wants a big ego. Okay, that's action. All right, so now we go to 26, 27, 28. Who would like to do? Kavita?
Okay, so 26. One who performs his duty without association with the modes of material nature, without false ego, and with great determination and enthusiasm, and without wavering in success or failure, is said to be a worker in the mode of goodness. 27. The worker who is attached to work and the fruit of work, desiring to enjoy the fruits, and who is greedy, always envious, impure, and moved by joy and sorrow, is said to be the mode of passion. 28. The worker who's always engaged in work against the injunction of the scripture, who's materialistic, obstinate, cheating, and expert in insulting others, and who's lazy, always morose and procrastinating, is said to be a worker in the mode of ignorance.
Yeah, so that is our former Prime Minister, Mr. Najib, in the mode of ignorance. He's obstinate, he's cheating, and he's actually lazy. He wants easy money. He is working against the injunctions of the scripture. As a Prime Minister, you cannot do all this. That's example of it. Then we go passion, a person who is wanting to enjoy the fruits, who is greedy, envious, impure, and moved by joy and sorrow, who is very, very attached to work because he wants to make a big name for himself and a big assets for himself. He doesn't really look at spiritual life. He is only interested in material life and being successful there. First, in the mode of goodness, you are doing your duty without false ego. You understand you are the servant of God, and you are doing with great determination and enthusiasm. That's very important in spiritual life. And you are without wavering in success or failure. I will do my duty. I will try and go back to the spiritual world, whether I make it or not. That's second question, but I will try my best. Whether I success or failure, never mind. Like Jatayu, he knows that Ravan is very strong, but he go and try and save Sita, but he failed. That because Ravan is more powerful, and his wings were cut off, and he fell down. He was dying, and as he was dying, Lord Ram came to the spot. He was following the trail, and he came to see, and he saw Jatayu, and he told Jatayu, Ravan went this way, and I'm very sorry. I tried my best to stop him, but I failed. I am a failure. And what did Lord Ram say? No, you are successful. Your effort and your determination to help me, that in itself make you successful. This body, after this body, you go back straight to spiritual world. You don't worry. That's success. Giving up this body and not going back, becoming another body, that's success. That is the ultimate success and goal of life. To not come back to this material world and go back to the spiritual world. So that is what Krishna is speaking. So now we go 28, 29, 30, 31. This one they have skipped a lot. So we will do it because I want to complete So 29, 30, 31. Who would like to do? Jayashri?
Okay, sir. 29. O winner of wealth, now please listen as I tell you in detail two different kinds of understanding and determination according to the three modes of material nature. 30. O son of Partha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done or what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, is in the good is in the mode of goodness. 31. O son of Pratha, that understanding which cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion, between action that should be done and action that should not be done, is in the mode of passion.
Mataji?
32.
32 also, because it's all connected.
Okay. Okay. That understanding which considers irreligion to be religion and the religion to be irreligion under the spell of illusion and darkness, and strives always in wrong direction. O Partha, is in the mode of ignorance.
Thank you.
33, sir.
So 30, Krishna speaking. First, that 29, he's saying that I tell you about the different kinds of understanding and determination. So you need to have a proper understanding and you have to have proper determination. Three types, So he says that you have understanding, which is you understand what should be done and not to be done, is what is binding. That means what is making you bind to this material world, and what is liberation is in a mode of goodness. You should do, devotees should always do this way. You should have a proper knowledge, the truth, the proper truth, and follow it. And then you have people who they cannot understand what is religion and irreligion. Someone comes to them and they just follow. They don't, someone tells them, this religion very good, they get, oh, you become very happy. They just follow and just, they say, yes, I'm very happy. But actually, that understanding, at the end of the life, you will not go back to the spiritual world. You will only come back to this material world. Temporary happiness. And then you have an understanding which is irreligion you think to be religion, and religion you think to be irreligion. That means you think Bhagavad Gita is stupid, is nonsense, and then you think that doing some funny spiritual path is religion, worshipping the ghosts and the goblins are religion, then you are in the wrong frame of mind, right? Okay, now we go to 33, 34, 35, 36. Who hasn't read 2-3 times?
I will read, Prabhuji.
Yeah, you read.
Okay, 33. O son of Pratha, that determination which is unbreakable, which is sustained with steadiness by yoga practice, and which thus controls the activities of the mind, life, and senses, is determination in the mode of goodness. 34. But that determination by which one holds last to fruitive results in religion, economic development, and sense gratification is of the nature of passion, O Arjuna. 35. And that determination which cannot go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion, such unintelligent determination, O son of Pratha, is in the mode of darkness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Krishna just now was speaking on religion, and now he's speaking on determination. So he said, as you want to go back to the spiritual world, it should be unbreakable. Even if bad things come to you, you want to go back to the spiritual world, you are doing according to your dharmic process, and bad things come to you, you should not say, oh, I think I cannot do it. You must carry on. Even if it kills you, like Jatayu, carry on. But normally, you will not get a situation like Jatayu, but even if you get, carry on. And actually, Jatayu in a way is more fortunate because immediately he die and go back. He don't have to live long as a vulture. He has to eat all these dead animals. That's not a very pleasant thing to do. Of course, for them, that's their life. But anyway, so by yoga practice, bhakti yoga practice, yoga practice means connection to the Supreme Lord. So you must be steadfast and you must have a determination which is unbreakable. People tell you, you either give up Krishna consciousness or I'll kill you. You should not give up Krishna consciousness. You should understand that you should understand that this is the most important thing. And when they are killing you, you just think of Krishna and die. That's all. You go back to spiritual world because at the time of death, you're thinking of Krishna. So why you worry so much? Okay, but normally Krishna does protect his devotee. But certain times, if it happens to you, you must have that determination and that steadfastness that this is what I want to do. This is the most important. I should not deviate. People say, why you want to do so much spiritual thing? Come lah, let's womanize, drink, all that's good, but enjoy lah. But you know, if you are doing spiritual thing, you're eating prasadam, you're singing kirtan, you're associating with devotee, that is actually a higher form of enjoyment than what they're asking you to do. Not only that, that liberates you, and the thing that they're asking you to do contaminates you and actually brings you down. And your determination, why you fast to fruitive results in religion. Just like Hiranyakashipu, he wanted so badly to become the most powerful, so he did so much austerity, determination, so determination. Amazing. 1,000 years he was doing austerity in one place with one leg up. Can you believe it? And his life air was, all the ants had eaten his body already, remained his bones and life air, but still he was determined. So somehow or another, that determination is good, but because it is wrongly placed, he did in the wrong way or the wrong thing, that is in the mode of ignorance. In the end, it's no use. So much effort, no use. Okay, who would like to read 36, 37, and 38, and 39? Volunteer. Last one.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Text 36. O best of the Bharatas, now please hear from me about the three kinds of happiness by which the conditioned soul enjoys and by which he sometimes comes to the end of all distress. Text 37. That which in this beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. Text 38. That happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects and which appears like nectar at first but poison at the end, is said to be of the nature of passion. Text 39. And that happiness which is blind to self-realization which is delusion from beginning to end and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be of the nature of ignorance. Thank you.
So now we are in this world, we want to be happy, right? Who don't want to be happy? All of us need happiness. So Krishna is speaking now very nicely. What I just now I told you that actually, happiness can be get a higher form of happiness. So, which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end it's like nectar. That is actually, in the beginning it's very difficult, to try and do spiritual things. To chanting is also difficult. But once you do the chanting, in the beginning it's very tough. It's just like poison. But at the end of it, after a while, you are chanting all the while, so many years, you don't chant, you feel something wrong. You don't associate with devotee, you feel something missing. You don't eat prasad, you feel something missing. You don't listen to bhajan, you feel something missing. Something is not right, not happy. So that is the mode of goodness. And then happiness, which is because you are materially, your senses say, enjoy, do this. In the end, you eat so much sweet, you get diabetes. You eat so much pakora and oily food, you get heart attack. Example. It's no use. It's tasty, nectar, but it's like poison because it kills you. The smoking is very nice. Oh, what a nice smoking. In the end, you get problem with the body. So all these things you want to enjoy. In the end, it's just like adding oil into the fire. The more you do it, the more you want it. The more sweet you eat, the more you want. The more you go after man or woman of the opposite sex, the more you want it. The more you want to take, the more. And then ignorance, of course, is you take drugs. Example, you see this man, he's a very nice drugs, that's even worse. That's not even passion, that's ignorance. You're really killing yourself. And then in the beginning is blind to self-realization. You will never get God. Some people say, I smoke marijuana, I can think of God. That's rubbish. It's all foolishness. So you want to sleep, you want to smoke, you want to cheat, you want to work. All this is ignorance. Okay, so we have one last 2-3 minutes for one story. So now there was the king of Kanchi. This is a true story, There's a king of Kanchi who had a very beautiful girl, daughter. So he was thinking who I should get her married to. Then he heard that this king of Orissa is a very powerful king. He is so much. He is actually the king. Means he is king of so many states. He is conquered, and so then, and also he was actually a devotee of Lord Jagannath. So then he was very powerful king. So then he heard, okay. So he sent ambassadors with gifts to the king Purushottam Dev, of the king of Orissa. Our king, the king of Kanchi, Kanchi is also very famous Kanchi saris, Kanchipuram. So then, my king has a beautiful daughter and he would like to propose that she marries you. And he has given so many gifts. So normally when the king gives a gift, and if the person who receives the gift accepts it, means he accepts the proposal. If he don't accept, he will refuse the gift. Say, no, sorry, I'm not. Then the gifts go back. So anyway, the king said, okay, fine, because he heard the good qualities of the girl. So anyway, what happened is they said, okay. Then the ministers, they told the king of Orissa, King Purushottam, told the ministers, we have Jagannath festival, Jagannath Ratha Yatra in the next 1-2 days. Would you like to stay? Say, yeah, sure, we will come and we'll do. So during the Jagannath Ratha Yatra, the king of Orissa always is given the honor to sweep the front of the chariot, from those days until today. So then the king was invited to sweep. So they sweep. So he sweep the road in front of the chariot of Lord Jagannath. And then the minister said, what type of king is this? He cannot get someone to sweep. He must do it himself. You see, people in a mode of passion and ignorance, their thinking is different. People in a mode of goodness, they think, oh, what an honor. People in a mode of passion think, what nonsense. This work, why I want to sweep? I am king. Get people to sweep. Right? So anyway, he was sweeping, and they went back to the king of Kanchi and say, you know something? The person whom you are telling, proposing, actually, he's sweeping the road, in front of the chariot. He can't even get workers to sweep. So then the king said, hey, like this, I cancel the 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 the, the proposal, and I don't want my daughter married to a beggar like that. So then the news went to the king, and the king got angry. What nonsense! Why you call me beggar? Okay, I'll teach him a lesson. He bring his army and he went and to fight with the king of Kanchi. And he went to the king of Kanchi. The king of Kanchi defeated him, and he went back. He went back without his army. Luckily, he didn't die. So he went back, and then what happened is, he went to Lord Jagannath. He said, Lord Jagannath, I have been with you so long. And then I don't know why, I went to Kanchi, and I'm such a big king. I lost to a small king like Kanchi. Why is it like that? And then Lord Jagannath said, did you ask me to help you? The king said no. So what you wanted to do, you just have a big nice ego, thinking you're so powerful, you went there and then you got trashed. Oh yeah. Oh Lord Jagannath, you are right. I'm so sorry. So then the Lord Jagannath said, I want you to raise another army and go. And this time, ask for my help. So he said, oh Lord Jagannath, I will follow what you say. And I'm asking for your help. Please help me. So anyway, the king of Orissa, he had a big army, second army. And he went with the army. So anyway, along the way, there is a lady who was selling juice, lemon water. So anyway, she was staying on the road and selling. And then two men came, one man with a black horse and one man in the white horse. And the man in the black horse was quite darkish, and the man in the white horse was very fair. And they came and then they said, Madam, what are you selling? They we are selling lemon juice. Come, give me. So they drank and they finished all the lemon juice. And then the lady said, hey sir, where's the money? Money, mana? Where's the money? He said, money? Oh, I don't have money. Hey, you drank all my lemon juice, you don't have money? Don't worry, my boss is coming. You just tell my boss to pay. And then I'll give you one ring to prove to my boss that we were here. So anyway, they went. And then the king and his army came, and they're passing this lady. And the lady stopped the king and said, stop, stop. Yes, what you want? Your two friends. He said, you are the boss. You are, one is the dark man, and you are riding a black horse. One was very fair man, riding a white horse. And he said, and they drank all my juice, and they said, you will pay. Oh, really? I don't know any black man or white man with black horse and white horse. How? Can you show me proof? Yes. He gave me this ring. And then they showed the ring. And then the ring the Lord, the King Krishna said, hey, this belongs to Lord Jagannath. Okay, okay. Anyway, he took the ring because he wanted the ring anyway, and he paid the lady and he went on. And then when he reached the king of Kanchi, before that, this man in the black and the white horse came and they defeated the whole army and they went back. And then this king came with the army and he saw that the king of Kanchi had already defeated, surrendered. He said, your two men came and they defeated our own army. We surrender. So then he said, okay. Then he tell the princess, you must come with me. So they took the princess back to Orissa. And then in Orissa, the king was very angry still, This time he understood that Lord Jagannath and Baladev actually had came and defeated the whole army. So in that way, we should always ask for the Lord for help in all our endeavors, but don't ask for material endeavors, ask for spiritual endeavors. Anyway, depend on the Lord. So then the king said to his minister, prime minister, this father said, I don't want to marry this girl to any sweeper. And he called me a sweeper. Now I want you to find the most qualified sweeper and marry her off. I want you to marry her to a road sweeper. The king told the minister. The minister said, okay, boss. And then he took the girl and he kept her in a place where she can be comfortable. So then many months passed. And finally the Rath Yatra came again. And this time the king was sleeping again. And then he went to the king and he said, oh king, I have found a qualified sweeper for the girl. And the king said, oh, very good. Who is the person? He said, you are the person. You see, you are sweeping the floor. So the king understood and he realized his mistake in trying to take revenge on a girl who is not like very like, nothing is, she is not the one that didn't want to marry the guy. It's just the king, the father was insulting the king. So anyway, he agreed. And so then the girl married the king and they had a very nice, happy life. So this is the real story that happened in during the time of King Purushottam in India. Okay? So if you want the Srimad Bhagavatam, please get. If you want the Bhagavad Gita, please get. So that's the end of today's class. So any question?